What is good, everybody? It is Davod from Producer Pad, bringing you a basic FL Studio tutorial. This is for the people that are very new to FL Studio, and I'm mainly just gonna touch on how to navigate and really just get you started in FL Studio and how to start, having fun and being creative. So the way I like to break down FL Studio is use tabs up here. I like these first 5 tabs. Those are the ones I pay the most attention to. The first one you'll get to know is the channel rack right here, also known as the step sequencer. This is where you make your patterns. I'm just gonna make a simple drum pattern for this video. Very simple. But yeah, this is where you would make your patterns. And these knobs over here, this knob to the left is your panning knob. So as you'll know, let me add some hi-hats real quick. As I move this knob from the left to right, you'll notice that the sound will move from your left ear to right ear. Listen. That's called panning. Okay? You can also click the button that says hat or whatever drum you would like to change. And you click the piano roll. This is your piano roll. The piano roll is where your melodies are made. See, right now, everything that is just a dot right here is always going to be defaulted to C5, which is kind of like the root note, I guess, of life, really. It's pretty much the root note of C5 is that's the main note, I guess. I don't know. It's just like everything's default gonna be at C5 unless it's tuned. So as you can see, you can move things up and down. Just kind of mess around here. This is kind of where you make melodies, stuff like that. And yeah, the piano roll's pretty cool actually. You get pretty good, and you have these things down here. These are velocities. This is how hard the sound hits. So I kind of want it to go like this, like tin, 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 tin. This is how it would be. Yep. And next, we're gonna go over the sample library, which is this thing over here to the left. You can close it and open it by pressing this 4th button to the right. A lot of people freak out when this happens, when they're to FL Studio and they think that their FL Studio is bugged. It's actually, you probably just press this button. And FL Studio comes with some cool drum packs. You click packs, and here you go. You can mess with all of these. It has vocals, shapes, sound effects, loops, the legacy drum kits, instruments, the new mode audio drums, and just the regular drum packs. You can open these, and to drag these into your step sequencer, just either overlap them already existing sound that you want to replace, or drag them to the bottom, or drag them in between. And to delete notes on the step sequencer, you right click and just drag. Simple. Sorry for breathing into the mic, by the way. I have a bad habit of that. I'm trying to stop. And yeah. The next thing we're going to get to is the playlist. This is kind of where your song is going to be laid out, when you render the song, when you save it, this is what's going to render out, is what's on the playlist. This is where you're going to arrange everything. Like, say you would put instruments in each individual track. Like, say I want my drums on track 1, like I just placed them. That's where they would be. You can also click this thing that says pattern 1. It'll alternate in between your patterns, so you can click which pattern you would like to paste. You also have different tools up here. You have just the normal click and drag tool, And you have the paintbrush tool. For the playlist, I like to use the paintbrush tool. I find myself clicking and dragging most of the time because you put a lot down at one time with the playlist. And you have the slice tool, which slices. If you would like to cut the tail off of something, you right click and it'll cut the smaller end. This is the highlight tool. You will just click and drag. Another way to get to the highlight tool is just simply control and drag. That's the best way to do it in my opinion, most practical. And these green buttons kind of mute the tracks. If you would like to solo a track, you would right click this little green button. And to unsolo it, you would just right click it again. Same thing in the channel rack, which would be right click solo. Okay. So the next thing we're going to get into is the mixer. As you can see, FL Studio already routes these first 4 drums to a channel rack. We're going to delete some of these. But as you can see, 1, 2, and 3 are already selected. But when you drag a new sample in, it's going to have this. So you want to route them to the channel that you want them to be in. So right now, nothing's routed to anything. So only the master channel is going to play. Which the master channel is pretty much everything that's happening inside of FL Studio. It's going to play through the master channel. And you're going to see this bar over here. It's going to show you how loud it is. Generally, you never want anything that passes 0 dB, which is right here. That's when things clip. So pretty good, right? Say I want my kick, clap, and snare to be on 1, 2, and 3. I could do it like this, which will put them in 1, 2, and 3. I can also click on them, and the track number will be up here. I can change. I can also highlight, right click, channel routing, route selected channel to this track, and it'll even name it for you. And if you want to put multiple in the mixer at one time, you would highlight all of them by either double clicking, or you can click and drag. You can do right click, channel routing, route selected channel starting from this track, and it'll do them in order, and it'll even name them for you. It's very convenient. I use this a lot. And these faders right here, it's just like a real life mixing board. You know, these are like the volume levels. These are the volume faders. This knob right here is the panning knob. Just kind of like in the channel rack, it's just a different version. You can also change what view of the mixer you like. You can make it compact, so if you have a lot of channels running, you know, there's different sizes. I like the wide. I think that's the perfect size for my monitor. Some people like the extra large. They like that. I don't know. Like, I'm so used to seeing this. There's also this button right here, which makes it where you see your input. You see the input coming in as audio waves instead of levels, which I like to see the levels personally. And this button right here just kind of turns off some of the features. I don't know why you wouldn't have this on. You definitely want to have the option to be able to use these knobs, which we'll get into that in another video. And yes, that's pretty much it. And yeah, if you want to mess with your pattern, you want to name your pattern, color code it, you can always right click. You can right click pretty much anything and rename it. You can right click your drums. You can right click this thing up here. This will show your patterns. You can click and drag and it'll just scroll through your different patterns. You can always right click pattern 1. There's a rename thing somewhere. Yeah, we'll just do a random color. That makes me mad. I swear there is a button for... Yes, rename and color. There we go. So I'll just name this drums. Sorry about that. Sometimes, you know, I forget the basics myself. And, well, I think that's pretty much it for the basics. I'll do a quick recap real quick. This is your channel rack. This is where your patterns happen. This is your playlist. This is where your patterns get placed. And you can lay them out however you want. This is your piano roll. You can click up here to go between the piano rolls and alter it. This opens and closes your sample library. And this button is your mixer. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll be doing a lot of videos on FL Studio in the future, and I'll elaborate even more on the smaller details. But yeah, give this video a thumbs up. Definitely come back for more. We'll be having a lot more content on anything production, and we'll be uploading very regularly. Please subscribe, and thank you, and come back again.